Now, I'm not a fan of summer. A lot of you will know for a few reasons. One, it's too hot. Sweat, oil, grease. It's for appearance reasons. Here's the deal though. If you do not change things about your routine, your makeup routine, your skincare routine, pre-makeup, in the summer, the sun is going to ruin your makeup. The summer is going to ruin your makeup. So I want to go through a few ways to deal with the summer heat, the summer in general. Maybe you live in a country that is just straight up hot all the time. How do you do it? And how to adapt your makeup routine to this. Now, I'm not going to go through the basics like wear a powder, all this kind of stuff. I want to do a little bit more in depth and a little bit more customizable, because how much skincare you use and what skincare you use in terms of textures and formulas underneath your makeup is going to be the be all or end all of your foundation, right? We're talking foundation here. Cream blushes, things like that, cream products tend to be the things that spoil on our faces during the summer. Some of you have seen me speak about these products before. I'm going to be using Dalba products for the skin prep. Dalba is one of my absolute favorite brands. This is my third one of these. I adore these products. I'm sorry, they're so dirty and almost empty. I just love, love, love this brand. They have very kindly sponsored today's video. For those of you who don't know, Dalba products are all infused with white truffle, which is such a luxury skincare ingredient. White truffles are a natural antioxidant, so this really is for everyone. And white truffles also contain vitamin C, vitamin B12, minerals, and amino acids that help improve fine lines, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, and just give an overall like healthier, brighter looking appearance to the skin. Now, I recently went on vacation to Greece and I knew I was going to be in the sun because I can't sit around and not be in the sun as much as I don't like it. Well, I actually kind of like it in other countries when it gives me a tan, but when you're in England, it just doesn't sit right with me. But I took I'm actually just going to open a new one to show you because I want to show you how it looks like brand new. I took my white truffle double serum and cream with me because I knew that I would want something super hydrating during the day after I've been out in the sun, and I didn't want my skin to become dry, tight, anything like that. But I also knew I'll be doing things like going out for dinner in the evenings where I don't necessarily want to sit there super hydrated. So I knew if I took my double cream and serum, I could customize how I wanted my skin to be. And this is going to be a key part of what we're going to do to keep our skin and foundation looking good throughout the heat. The product isn't sticky in any way. It's very, very lightweight on the skin. It's also non-comedogenic. The last thing we want during summer is that heavy, sticky feeling on our face, especially when our face is already feeling sticky and sweaty. And as I mentioned earlier on, you can customize your skincare routine to the needs of your skin. You're feeling like you don't need that much moisture, you can use more of a serum over the cream. You're feeling like you need a lot of moisture, perhaps you've been laying out in the sun all day, use more of a cream, mix in with a serum. It is essential after being out in the sun, even if you're wearing makeup, even if you have on that SPF, to look after and hydrate your skin afterwards. So the white truffle double cream and serum, one of my absolute favorite skincare products of all time. I'm just going to say it and put it out there. It's going to have 62% off over on Amazon. So that's going to make it $28 from the 16th to the 28th of July. So you have some time to get yourself one of these on discount. And this is such a good opportunity to get this product at such a low price, considering the white truffle ingredient that is so luxury and so rare, can only be found in a certain place at certain times of a year. So get this product on discount. It is going to change the way you prep your skin for makeup. Again, I'll leave that link down below for you to check out, but let's talk about it a little bit more in depth. I want you to bear in mind the textures, the formulas, and how I use them alongside my makeup. Summer skin, how are we going to make sure our foundation doesn't go all sticky, tacky, and horrible throughout the summer? We have to kind of bear in mind what the sun, the heat does to our foundation, right? It makes us sweat quicker. So sweat is going to come through our skin and it's going to have to kind of penetrate through our foundation and drip down. Can we stop ourselves sweating? Not so much. You can use things that claim to stop the sweat, which I would maybe use in extreme situations. I wouldn't go using it every single day. We also tend to be a little bit oilier. The sun can dry out our skin. And although we are oily and although moisture can be kind of scary during the summer for us oily people, we do still need to hydrate. And even for those with drier skins, you still do need to hydrate even more so in the summer because that sun is drying you out. So here's exactly what I would do. I have nothing on my face right now. I have used a little bit of toner. Dalba have given me a new first serum spray, but I am going to use my open one. This will be done by the end of a week. So here's the deal. I'm going to use a serum spray first. What our key is going to be is hydration first, then I'll break it down for oily and dry people. But we want to hydrate our skin first. So I've toned, I've used eye cream, I've let my skin set, and that's it. done. A hydrating mist. This is more of a serum. Our serums and our skincare routine are first before our moisturizer. What I want to do with this mist first is hydrate my face and drench my face. Now, there is a reason why I'm going to drench my face. Let me just do it. Smells incredible. I'm gonna let that settle on my skin. The key to making sure your makeup lasts the longest it can, anytime really, but even more so through the summer months, is recognizing how much moisture your skin needs on that day. And yes, even some days it can be a day-to-day basis, right? One day you might be extremely dehydrated. The next day you might be like, oh, you know what? I've had my water. I drank a Stanley of water. I don't think that's quite how it works. But the best way to understand your hydration levels and what your skin needs is to overhydrate like this and let it sit on the skin. Your skin is gonna drink up whatever it needs. Your skin knows what it needs. It's just trying to tell you. So that's what we're doing here. We're letting our skin absorb what it needs to. I know people are like, who has time? Spray it like right away. Do your eyebrows, do something else. And listen, yeah, I get it. We don't all have time in the mornings. I've worked retail. I've worked in an office. This is what we have to do if our foundation's messing up. Spray your face. Go and have some breakfast quick. Not that I ever had time for breakfast. And when you feel that has settled in enough, I want you to touch your skin. I'm patting but also gently wiping, and try to feel out where your skin has absorbed that moisture, absorbed that product more than other places. I feel quite evenly hydrated, to be honest with you. I think it's because I was in the sun a lot recently. I was also in Texas after Greece, and I took my double serum too. So I'm quite evenly hydrated because I made sure that I was doing so every evening. I am always a little bit more dehydrated on my nose. So when it comes to the moisturizer serum combo, I'm going to focus a little bit on some areas of my nose. However, it is the oiliest part of my face. So bear that in mind. So with a white truffle double serum and cream, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some serum first, just on the back of my hand like this. This is obviously a very lightweight gel texture. Textures, I'm all about it. The gels on anyone's skin during summer, the gel, serum, fluid, that's the kind of like descriptor you're looking for. Cream, you know it's going to be a little bit more hydrating. So here's what I'm going to do. I have the gel on my cheeks and on my forehead. I'm going to apply it to my nose also. I'm going to add a small amount of the cream to my whole face. And I mean the tiniest amount. And again, it's the texture we're looking for. So we have a gel, a fluid texture, and a cream. I'm just going to apply a little bit to the cheeks, and I mean like the smallest amount, a tiniest amount to my forehead, and an even smaller amount to my nose, because those are my grease areas. And then just mix it together. Again, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it on the skin, almost like I'm doing a lightweight mask. So I am rubbing it all over. Please bear in mind, this is also before makeup. If it was my evening skincare routine, I'll just be rubbing this into the face. Let it sit. Just let it sit for just a minute. See what your skin's going to do next. We're kind of giving our skin a chance to, again, tell us what it needs. And then I'm literally going to push this skincare into my face. One terrible habit we've gotten into on social media is not making our skincare, our skin prep, and even sometimes our makeup part of our face. This is going to be key during summer. You don't want layers just sitting on your face. It all needs to be as blended in as much as possible. My areas where I'm dehydrated, really work that into the skin. Now, I'm not talking so much about you're making your skin hurt, you know what I mean? But we're not dripping, we're not doing anything like that. We just want it all pushed into our skin. Give yourself a little facial massage. If you don't have time, just apply a little bit more pressure and do this across the face. Literally pushing into the skin. Tap super quick, super fast, get the blood flowing. This is something I would do any time of year. I don't care if it's Christmas, Halloween, New Year, I am pushing that product into your face. And look at that glow. The white truffle products from Dalba, the glow it gives your skin, that kind of like white truffle glow, superior. It is stunning. And that's something else. If you still want that glow during summer, we want to be glowing but not sweaty. There's a difference. You can still get it. You can still have comfortable skin while being hydrated. Okay, so that is the skin prep done. My skin doesn't feel overly sticky, hydrated, anything like that, because I've used the right levels of this product, but you can see it still has a really nice glow to it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my eye makeup, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you how to get foundation on your skin, tinted moisturizer, whatever it is you're using, and keep it as fresh as we can. Okay, so I've done a kind of neutral eye look because I want to do a video later about how to add color to an eye look. Foundation. Okay, so I am going back to my beloved MISSHA Perfect Cover BB cream. So this is a BB cream, obviously. I'm shade number 25 at the moment. I'm usually 23. Excuse my red eye, it's allergy season like crazy. So here is what I need you all to find for your foundation, right? A powder brush that has this stubby top like this. The hairs are shorter from the end of a furrow up to the actual end of a hair. They're short, they're not as long as most powder brushes. They're dense on top. The brush hairs are quite tightly packed, and it has a wide but not too wide surface. I like this one. This is ANISA Beauty, the Pinnacle foundation brush, and because it has these corners on it, and I'm building up my brush with that product like this on the back of my hand. Here's what we're gonna do. We are stamping this into the skin like it's a potato shape on paper. And if I have too much on my brush, I'm just gonna again rub it on the back of my hand. We can always go back to that. And stamp and press, starting in the areas where you get the most discoloration. These are the areas we're going to be the most oily, so we're just going to wait. I'm just going to keep pushing that product into my skin. You can do this with a beauty blender, absolutely, but I do prefer in hot months not to incorporate the dampness of the sponge into my foundation or the product I'm using. And you can see I'm holding the brush quite close to the hairs. That means I'm applying more pressure. If I was up here, I'm applying less pressure. But again, like I said, I want this to be part of my skin. So I'm really tapping directly into my skin. And again, what I like about this brush is the triangle bits. So you can get right into like the edge of your nose, for example. You can twist it and get right up by your eye if you didn't want to wear concealer. But I'm just tapping to a point where I want to press my finger on my face and not see any interference in the foundation or my finger. Then it's become part of your skin. Okay, nose and forehead. I'm just going to do one last check that I'm not overly too hydrated. If I was, you could grab a tissue, a clean beauty sponge, and just press that on the areas and absorb some of that moisture. I'm not using any more product. I'm just going in with a brush and I'm just going to brush it down my nose. Back onto my hand as well. I just want to use all that product up first and almost get like a base coat down. See, to me, that's fine, but I will add a little bit more. Build up that brush. Now, in these areas that are slightly more oily, like I said before, I'm kind of brushing around. On these areas first, I stamped. But I want to brush because I want to get a really thin layer first. One, because I want to build it up slowly, and two, because we don't want to build up a product too fast. We want to layer by layer. The less we use, the more likely there is to be any issues, right? So if we're doing a tiny bit first, we might look in the mirror and be surprised and be like, oh, actually, that's all I need. And again, I do want this to become part of my skin. So I want to do the test with a finger, clean finger, and I want to press it quite intrusively on my forehead. There's a tiny bit of a mark there, so I'm just going to blend everything in a little bit more. Let's go in with our final layer, and we're going to do the same kind of method we did on the cheeks. So I'm just going to tap with a little bit more product this time. So I'm gonna use a little bit of blush. This is from Holika. I'll leave everything I'm using down below for you. Comes with a sponge. Good thing about this is it's really close to the skin, so we can really push that into the skin just like we did our foundation. So really what we're doing with all these steps is making sure that nothing is just sitting stagnant on our skin, right? We're not wearing a mask, it's just our skin. I forgot I had a tan and that blush doesn't show on me. It's fine. We're gonna finish up with a loose powder. Now, you may be thinking, loose? Why? And the reason I want to go in with a loose powder is because I feel like pressed powders, the way they're quite tightly packed, is like adding another layer. Whereas with a loose powder, I feel like we get a little bit more control. So this is from a brand called WakeMake. Again, I'll link it down below. I am using a sponge pad, and here's how this is gonna work. Sponge pad, again, on the back of a hand, and we're just gonna hold and gently kind of wiggle that powder into place. Not baking, but we want it to become parts of our skin. Hold and wiggle. And you can do it quickly as well. I'm just going slow so you can see. So, okay, I'm going to finish up with a spritz of a first serum spray. This is going to melt everything together. I know a lot of people think there's no sense in mattifying and then melting, but it kind of just makes everything, like I said, melt together, become one thing. And because we don't want layers, remember. Now, if you want to, after this, we can add a little bit more powder in the areas we get a little bit more oilier. And there you go. That is our foundation sun-proof with good skin prep before. It's all about the prep and application. If you start to get a little bit oily and greasy, do not powder. Do not powder. Your best friend at that point is a dry beauty blender and tapping on the areas where you are getting that moisture. I personally like to have a spray with me if I need my foundation to stay on. Spray over the area. Say, for example, I'm getting a bit cakey on my nose. Spray on that area. Let it sink in. Let it dry. Let it reboost that makeup you have on. Tap it with a beauty blender back into place. Don't panic with powder. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to Dalba again for sponsoring today's video. Like I said, the discounted product is down below in the description box. It's discounted for a limited time, so do go ahead and grab one. I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.